Hey everyone, Justin Worthy with the Top Calgary Real Estate Team and Remax House of Real Estate. I'm here today with Lucas Kirsch, who is one of the lead home inspectors at 2020 Home Inspections, also one of the owners of, in my opinion, one of the best home inspection companies in the city, with over 27 years of experience, including 8 as a custom home builder. Lucas is a trusted leader in the inspection industry. He is here to share his expertise, commitment to excellence, and an insight into making informed home buying decisions. So stay tuned for an educational conversation. Lucas, thank you so much. I know you've been super busy with home inspections and your exciting new business, Inspectagram. So thanks for taking the time to sit with us and have a conversation today.
Thanks, Justin. That's quite the intro. I'm hoping to live up to the expectations you just set forth. Let's get going with this.
I'm sure you will, buddy. It's all good. So, Lucas, how has your experience as a custom home builder shaped your approach to your home inspections?
As a custom home builder, I've seen everything from the ground up. I know what shortcuts trades take and how it affects the build along the way. So what can lead to a bigger problem down the line? So as a home builder, becoming a home inspector was a pretty simple transition. And it just gives me a different perspective on the way that we see things.
Cool. Yeah, no, I love that. And that's one of the key reasons I chose 2020 as a home inspector, as a realtor, because you guys have that hands-on experience building homes from the ground up. So I think that's massive.
Thanks. Yeah.
What are the most common issues you encounter during home inspections, and how can homeowners prevent them?
The most common issues that we tend to see are water damage, improper electrical work, HVAC system failures. And with these upcoming months, I think we spoke about this a few times, attic rain. And we're always on the news talking about it, but nobody ever listens to me. And that is where I'd like to have people going up there before the winter months come to really beef up the insulation on top of the attic hatch, because much like a scuba diver is releasing pressure from their BCD, hot air is finding its way into a cold space, creating condensation. Then people inevitably think that their roof is leaking, when in fact it's condensation. And it's during one of our famous Chinooks, we get rain up there causing all kinds of damage. So that's the biggest one that I preach, as you know. Always upgrade that attic hatch and make sure you got plenty of insulation up there in the attic, because we tend to see that almost on the daily.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing how many homes we go into as realtors as well, and you see little yellow spots on the ceiling.
Right.
And you're just kind of like,
It's those bathroom fans, right? They get disconnected as well. And if you can prevent that so easily, and it doesn't cost a lot of money.
Absolutely.
It's bathroom fans that leak like crazy, like sieves.
Yep, 100%. Can you explain the relationship between building trades and home inspections and how it benefits your clients?
Well, it's like the first question. Having a background in building means that we don't just inspect. We have this understanding, a thorough understanding of the structure inside and out. So we can explain the why behind the issues, as opposed to and also offering practical solutions instead of just pointing out the problems.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's great. And how do you communicate complex inspection results to clients in a way that they can understand?
Analogies, you know me.
Yeah.
I like to talk about the electrical system being like the vascular, or the bowels of your body being like the sewage, right? But we also use technology like Inspectagram to break down complicated issues into easy to understand reports with visuals and illustrations. And, like you look at the tech industry and the oil and gas industry and the OSHA and you name it, and everyone is using illustrations, iconology, and I don't want to call them cartoons because they're not, but this is the way that people communicate nowadays. Look at airlines. How do you get off a plane? It's not a photo lamination on the back of the seat there. It's a illustration. So that's what people want.
Oh, no, that's awesome. I love that. And what do you think, I mean, as someone that constantly learns new tech, what's the new technology that you have kind of front row and center that you're most excited about right now?
Oh, there's a bunch. I'm going to say plug my own company and say Inspectagram, but technology has completely transformed inspections just as early as 5 years ago. From moisture meters to our E76 FLIR infrared cameras, it's about providing accurate results in less time and more informative information.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. I love that too. So, what do you believe is the most overlooked part of a home inspection or a home that should always be inspected thoroughly?
The attic. We were just talking about that. People tend to forget about that, but that's where most of the major issues come from leaks to poor insulation to pests. We saw a raccoon the other day. I didn't think we had any of those in Alberta, but we've seen it. So that's a crucial area of the home that needs to be inspected thoroughly by a professional.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I guess as it relates to that question, what do you suggest homeowners do on a yearly basis to help maintain their home so that when it does come time to sell, that their house is in tip-top shape?
Man, this is going to be another plug, but it's like no different than the human body. And here's the analogy. Generally, you should be going to the dentist once a year. You should be going to the doctor to get a checkup every once in a blue moon. And not everyone is an expert at everything. So leave it up to the pros and have a home inspector come out and sort of check to make sure that everything is tip-top shape before the heavy seasons arrive. And the reason I say that is because I don't want to see homeowners out there getting up on a ladder, checking their gutters to make sure that they're plugged. Get a professional out there, or getting a tune-up once every 3 years, or getting it. Actually, you can have AGCO come out, I think, and I don't want to don't quote me on this, but they can come out and make sure that your gas or a quick tune-up on anything BTU-wise on your furnace is checked. Utilizing professionals and hiring your weaknesses is something that I've always preached to everyone that I do business with. And so if you're not good at inspecting your home, have a professional come out, have a look, and make sure it's ready for the coming winter.
Yeah, no, I love that. That's huge.
I wasn't really answering your question though, was it? Should I answer your question like, here's some tips for a for a homeowner?
Sure.
Walk around. Like, I'll tell you, you can clip this in and say that as a homeowner, really, this is your responsibility to walk around the plane. And before you go up in the air, you're supposed to walk around the plane and check the flaps, check the yoke, check the doors, check all the safeties. And if something looks wrong, it probably is wrong. So that is the responsibility of a homeowner, to walk around his or her home and make sure that everything looks like it's in good condition and ready for whatever weather is coming its way.
Cool. No, that's great. I love that. Good. How do you ensure that each client feels confident and reassured during the inspection process?
Well, communication is key. We make sure at 2020 that we're always communicating and explaining things clearly, answering questions, and often solutions. So our goal is to leave the client feeling somewhat very informed, and in control, not overwhelmed. Whereas I think the industry for many years has been plagued with mountain out of a molehill type fellas, whereas there's always a solution. Everything is manageable. It's the way that we give you the information and communicate it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Can you share a memorable home inspection experience that has had a lasting impact on how you work with clients?
You asked me this a while ago. I remember we were talking about the porn mags that I've seen, the sex toys, the serious drugs. Like I've got so many stories. Recently, one I've spoken about with you, I think recently, was a hot water tank that we had saw for the sellers. They didn't know about this, but it was on the verge of failure, and the homeowners had no idea about it. So it was on the second floor. As you know, it's always in the basement, but it being on the second floor, that could have cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's just something that if we weren't there on that day, they would have never known about it. And I think that's a reasonable story besides what I started out with.
Absolutely. What advice do you give to first-time homebuyers regarding home inspections?
Well, I can tell you right off the bat, don't skip the home inspection. This is a percentage of the cost of your home that could save you your financials, right? The inspection that we give is your chance to uncover issues that aren't always visible to, I understand that people are more informed and more discerning and they're more educated nowadays, but leave it to the professionals. This is a huge investment in your future. So having a home inspection can save you thousands down the road. Plus, you're going to get an education on how to take care of your home, because I always say that having a home is very much like being married. You have to get on top of your maintenance and understand how to treat her.
Yeah, I love that. Brownie points for you and your wife, I guess, too.
Thank you.
I'll make sure she sees this.
Yeah, that was a good one.
In what ways do you customize your inspections based on the age or type of property?
Older homes, that's another analogy I can give you. Like a lot of old homes is like having a lot of partners in the past, and it's going to come with some baggage, right? So the older homes require a lot more attention, especially like the foundation, because 100-year lifespan, breakdown cycle. The electrical systems between the 70s could be aluminum, or it could be knob and tube from the past. And the plumbing could be like galvanized pipe or poly B, or it depends on when somebody did a renovation. So we have templates inside of Inspectogram that we utilize, and it also depends on the client too, right? So the old homes, or the older client, or the young client in the older home, we're trying to figure out what everyone's expectations are, and we're always trying to meet them.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that. And I guess, how does your team's background in building homes enhance the quality of your overall inspections? We've already kind of covered that, I think.
Yeah, well, I can say it again that we're not just home inspectors. Like first and foremost, we're custom home builders, and that gives us an edge on understanding construction techniques, knowing where issues may arise, and offering real solutions, and not just like noting problems and giving you a checklist.
Yeah, awesome. What is a common misconception about home inspections that you frequently need to correct?
Well, I'd love to use this as a platform to tell people that, a lot of people think home inspections are about finding every single flaw in the entire house. And I often give this analogy, and hopefully your viewers are going to understand it. I don't have a flux capacitor built into my Sprinter van or a crystal ball, so I can't go back to the future to tell you what's happened, or go into the future to tell you what's going to happen. I can only identify visually what I'm seeing on the day of the inspection. And I really want to make this clear that we're here for the big stuff: structural, mechanical, attic, the analogy, glaucoma of the window, where you've got a blown seal. The big stuff that's going to affect your financials, whereas I'm not there for the zits or the stray hairs, as you can see in between my eyebrows. That is not why you want a home inspector there. You want them there for the big stuff, not the little.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how do you handle those situations where a significant issue is found during an inspection?
Well, we just had one the other day. Beautiful house in Bonavista Vista. Horizontal crack, those ones are pretty bad, but someone's going to buy that house. And I can only imagine that people have run away based on who was there with them, maybe just saying this is critical danger. Well, I want to say this: everything is manageable. We handle it by being upfront and being clear about the issue and explaining the impact, but also offering real life solutions. And you know how we can't talk about costs? People call me, as a joke, Rain Man, because I know costs, stats, facts, all that kind of stuff like the back of my hand. Generally speaking, most issues are a percentage of the cost of the entire home. So you just have to do a gut check and a pain threshold check and see where you're at.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I love that analogy. So how do you balance your technical expertise with the emotional aspect of helping people buy a home?
Well, just like everything, I mean, we know that buying a home is a very emotional decision. I can't believe the people that buy a home get pregnant and also get married at the same time. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
This stressed me out.
We did it, man.
But we take it's crazy, but we take the approach from the place of care and responsibility. Our goal is to protect the clients, even the home inspectors. And you know that I married a lawyer. If I'm doing a good enough job covering my butt, I'm in fact doing an amazing job covering my client's butt, and even the real estate's butt, because nobody wants to go to court. So if I'm pretending like I'm putting my mom or my sister or one of my cousins into a house, taking care of you in that accord, then you're going to be good. Yeah,
that's awesome. So what's the most rewarding part of ensuring homes are safe and reliable for families?
That's a good question. This job's a very thankful job, knowing that we've helped people avoid future problems or make a better decision about one of the biggest purchases of their lives. So, I don't know if I answered that question very well, but I feel like this job that I have is a very rewarding job because we're helping people.
Yeah. And I guess you're also helping people with one of the biggest financial decisions of their life, which I think is huge. And not only that, but they also have to live in that house. So I think that's huge.
You and me are in the same business. It's just different. You're helping people. I'm helping people. It's very rewarding. It's a very thankful job. Yeah. If you do your job right and you're super ethical and you give a shit.
Yeah, 100%. If you do it with passion, right? And you put your clients first. I love that.
Yeah.
And what steps do you take to keep up with the constant changes in the construction and real estate industries?
We stay on top of trends through continuous learning, InterNACHI, training courses, and our own experiences on site from building. We also, always are reaching out for new tech and new methodologies. And my best example is the new division that we set up a few years ago called Mr. Poop. Do you know why we called it that? It was because I originally called it colonoscopy inspections, but I got a letter from the government saying you can't call it that unless you're a doctor. So came Mr. Poop. Mr. Poop is our sewer division, and it just ensures that people understand what's going on beneath the surface, because it is a critical portion of the house. It's one of the most, it is the most heavily used portion of your house. It's not the roof, it's the sewer.
Yeah, no, that's huge.
Yeah.
Can you explain how your home inspections are tailored for different climates or environmental conditions?
Well, I got the first part. The second part, I'm not sure yet, but I'll get to that maybe. Well, every climate, that I've lived all over the world, from Munich, Germany, North Carolina, Louisiana, every climate has its own unique challenges. For example, in colder climates, we focus heavily on the insulation and heating systems, while in humid climates, we pay close attention to mold and water, like in Vancouver. Our home inspections are always tailored to every environment that we go to, but I can really only speak to what we have here in Calgary.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. What is the most critical part of the inspection process that can either make or break a home buyer's decision?
I don't know, make or break. Usually it's structural, like foundational, obviously. One day we should talk about wooden foundations, because I actually don't have a problem with them, because built right, they can outlive a concrete foundation. That's the truth. But generally speaking, people will be scared sometimes by major problems with HVAC, plumbing, potentially, poly B, electrical knob and tube. That's about it, though. Obviously, roof's replaceable, but sometimes people get freaked out by those as well. But if there's ever a significant issue, all of those can be dealt with. By hiring the right trades and right professionals to manage them.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. I guess it's like anything else. You should focus on the foundation, or what holds up the structure first and foremost. Because I think
it's all the foundation. It's so you build it right from the start. That's why we do frame checks and stuff. We mitigate those problems right off the bat.
Awesome. So how do you ensure that the values of commitment, creativity, and reliability are reflected in every inspection your team conducts? Because I know your team is growing. But how have you sort of managed and ensured that your entire team reflects those values?
It's kind of funny. Somebody asked me that question the other day. I don't know if you watch Drive to Survive or not. Do you?
No.
No, you should, man. It's so good. And Heather, my wife's with the Petronas team, the Mercedes team. She gets to hang out with all those bigwigs. But there's a Red Bull team, and then I can't remember what the other team is, but it's a team below Red Bull. And so we have 20-20 and we have 30 for 30, and we always help each other up the rope, right? So I needed somebody when I started and I didn't have anybody. So I make sure that anyone and everyone that comes on is trained first and foremost by me, and then it trickles down the line, so that every team member is trained not just in the technical aspects, but also in the communication department, so we can effectively work with our agents and our clients. So for us, it's about delivering more than just an inspection. It's about the experience that, just like you, Justin, you're trying to provide this amazing experience for your clients. You don't want anyone coming in and ruining that. There's always a way to do things in the right way, give the right information, but still make it somewhat of an experience. So it's, for me, again, all about providing that service that reflects the same dedication that you and your team are bringing to the table. And that's why I think that's the way I think it should be for everyone in our industry.
Yeah, that's massive. I love that. Because every time whether it's you or your team that comes in for a home inspection, every time I hear from my clients, man, those home inspectors were good. They were so thorough. The reports were so easy to navigate. And so, your commitment to quality and integrity it honestly does reflect all the way down the line with everybody on your team. So
I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure. So that's all the questions I've got for you today. And I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule. And we look forward to seeing you at our next home inspection. And hopefully that our viewers will be able to take some of this information home and and learn from it. So thanks again for taking it.
My pleasure, man. My pleasure. Have me on anytime. I'm going to plug it. Go to 2020mhi.com. That's where you can find us, and you can read our bios and choose any inspector that you want, because maybe I don't fit the bill for every person, but somebody at this company will. And then mrpoop.ca. Again, if you're buying an older home, make sure you're getting a colonoscopy on those girls, because they need it. You want to know about that. And lastly, obviously, I'm going to plug inspectogram.io. Man, if you're not using it in this industry, you're using Windows 95, and our customers and our clients and our agents deserve more.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Lucas. Take care. And we appreciate it.
Myself. All right, brother.